Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to ZSR and welcome to the A Link to the Past Randomizer Crosskeys Tournament 2021. It's the quarterfinals. We're approaching the end of the tourney, and it's dataplet versus humbugh. A great game one is upon us. I hope you all hope so too. And with me is a beautiful Lonely Rider commentator in Met7898. Take it away.
All right, thanks a lot, Trez. Yeah, this is a very interesting matchup. We got obviously two very strong runners. You have to know what you're doing in cross keys to make it through the Swiss stage as well as the play-in race. We got humbugh, very strong player, great results on ladder. We got dataplet. Dataplet's got to have one of the highest amount of cross keys seeds played across any runners. Everybody knows dataplet. You know him, you love him. If there's ever a Discord message that needs a Keck W slapped on it, he's your man. So, should be a very interesting race. Looks like we are about to get started. Oh, interesting. Nice sank start for humbugh. Immediately pulling the mirror out. That is a hugely important item in cross keys. It allows you to take connectors more freely in the early game without a moon pearl because you can super bunny and it gives you access to more entrances. Obviously, dataplet should find that very quickly as we have our Ganon drop at the useless fairy. We're seeing humbugh going for a houlihan here. This is a pretty common play. Allows you to get a bit of cash so you can make sure to visit the bottle vendor when you get to Kakariko, as well as the ability to buy some bombs if you find an early shop. Speaking of bombs, two very convenient chests in your two starting locations in the seed with bombs in Link's house and that mirror in the sanctuary. So it looks like humbugh's checking these two Lake Hylia. So we got a connector, the Spec Rock Cave, seeing not a whole lot with just that piece of heart there. We'll see humbugh jump in the water here to check the island item, which is just 3 bombs. It'll be interesting to see if he continues on to the eastern area, which I've seen a kind of growing number of runners start to do. If you don't do these checks now, they usually end up being some of your last locations, and so it's kind of a nice play to take that not a whole lot of runners take. So if you find something good here, you can potentially gain an advantage as we see the another connector here. Ooh, taking you to the Dark World Bridge at Turtle Rock. So with that mirror, that is going to give him give humbugh access to all of East Death Mountain, as well as these bridge entrances here. Find Spike Cave. And in the actual Spike Cave entrance, we've got our Turtle Rock main. See, so we got dataplet here doing the Hyrule Castle checks, getting his tree pulls in, which is good. It's good, always good seeing bombs in your tree pull so that you can have the ability to restock fairly easily. So another connector here at Hyrule Castle main. This is the Fairy Ascension connector. Ooh, that takes you to the race game. So we haven't seen this yet. So dataplet can just kind of blind check whatever prize is here. And it's just 20 bucks. Looks like he's gonna grab it anyway. So not a whole lot there on Eat Death Mountain for Humbug. So I would expect him to head into the village as dataplet is doing as well. So we'll just get, there's a lot of entrances in Kakariko, obviously. Oh, there's your old man starting point. That is not the best starting point. That's also a connector as well that is lamp locked that we may see dataplet take if there's not a whole lot in the Kakariko. So a small key to Skull there in Bonk Rocks. Wow, 8 bombs dropped from the crab, so really easy access to bombs for both runners. So we got Super Bunny Cave in the Lumberjack House. That is a one-way connector. And the well being blocked by Ega 1 today. So that's always kind of a pain, because if you see your lamp, your sword, those 2 keys in the boots, it is kind of pointing that way. You see dataplet here finding the TR bridge with 3 hearts. If you're not super comfortable with the laser skips, it can be extremely challenging and very time consuming. So not like a huge surprise to see dataplet bail for now. If you can get up to like just 5 hearts, then he can take a laser hit as he's doing it, and so it can make it a little bit faster if you're not the best at laser skips, and they are very difficult, so there's no shame in not going for it right away. Humbug finding the bat there in Lost Woods. Dataplet just finding a whole lot of nothing. It looks like Humbug's going back for this Super Bunny connector. And so this is not only a connector, but it is also 2 items as well. And with the mirror, he can just block delete and get through this cave quite a bit faster. So dataplet finding a dark cave. It did not look like he made an attempt to determine which dark cave that was. She's got 50 bucks and a bow in Super Bunny Cave, so that is very good because these runners don't really have a great way to kill enemies yet. So obviously they don't have any arrows yet, but once they find some arrows, that bow will be a pretty effective weapon. And so somewhat conveniently, that Super Bunny Cave will allow Humbug to continue clearing out this Eastern Palace area that he bailed on after finding his that connector to the TR bridge. Alright, so we got King's Tomb at the Smiths here, and the Smiths at Sahasrara. So actually quite a bit of divergence for both runners here. I don't think dataplet has that mirror yet, so he's kind of less incentivized to follow these connectors, whereas Humbug has a little bit more leeway in doing so. Bottle vendor giving the GT big key, an item you don't generally want to see in Cross Keys, as well as we found a Paradox Cave connector here at one of the Kakariko houses. So this is Uncle. So I haven't been following super closely, but I believe that means we have Useless Fairy at Ganon, but I could be wrong there. Ooh, finding GT at the Kakariko Fortune Teller. Not a whole lot we can do here. And Boots there in the Uncle drop down. So that is going to be a nice early boost that both of these runners should find no problem. So it looks like dataplet with those boots gonna have a much easier time doing these laser skips. So no surprise seeing him run back there. Get some bombs. Just a 5. Taking that death there. Ooh, nice blinds hut as well. See if you got anything interesting here. So these runners are going to kind of converge a little bit as dataplet is going to head back up to these North Kakariko checks as Humbugh finds a lamp. So they both should probably be heading into these Paradox Caves checks at around the same time. So 7 items here. Paradox Cave, kind of the most dense, non-dungeon cave in the game. It'll be interesting to see if dataplet follows the connectors. Ooh, speaking of dense item caves, here's Mini Moldorm Cave as well. So 2 of your 3 5-item caves and Paradox Caves, all right there in Kakariko. Humbugh having a little trouble with his bombs here. That bomb exploded on the same frame it hit the ground, meaning it's not going to damage those Mini Moldorms. Alright, so you have Paradox Cave, Big Key to Thieves Town, Heart Container, T-Rock Map, Big Key to Pod, and $20. Not bad haul there. And Mini Moldorm, we've got the TR Big, and not a whole lot else. I also see dataplet grabbed a sword somewhere. And so we also got Bumper Cave. That is the hookshot or cape entrance to Bumper Cave. So now we're going to see these guys, I think, kind of retrace each other's steps for a little while. dataplet going to find his 2 5-item caves right next to each other, as well as Ganon's Tower. And Humbugh just grabbing his boots out of the Uncle drop down. Ooh, nice bonk by dataplet. Did not know you could bonk across that pit. I guess it makes sense though. Yeah, neither runner, unsurprisingly, opting to follow those Paradox Cave connectors yet. They both have quite a few entrances to clear out in their kind of immediate vicinity before that's going to become an option, I think, especially with dataplet having no mirror. So with the lamp, we can see that I believe was the Death Mountain Descent connector. So like I said, both these guys just kind of cleaning things up as we go along. So some nice early game items, quite a few big keys. We haven't really found dungeons yet besides TR Main and the Laser Bridge. So I would expect these guys to just continue clearing out entrances, maybe head to South Shore. But we shall see. So with this particular item set though, there are, with the lamp, I believe some chests in Logic in the GT climb. I would not expect to see either of these guys make that play anytime soon for sure, but that is something to consider, considering we haven't really found a whole lot of chest entrances so far. So that was Desert Palace boss entrance there for Humbugh. So he's finding Laser Bridge with the boots, so he'll do that right away. Nice use of the bomb there to get that beetle out of the way. Also nice piece of game knowledge by dataplet, knowing that he can bonk those rocks there to grab an extra bomb. Just not a whole lot of normal bonk rocks there. Dataplet about to find his vanilla sanctuary to grab his mirror. Considerably later than Humbugh, but I don't really think he's been in the Dark World yet, so this should not punish him very much at all. So now I would expect to see dataplet make these kind of north light world checks. He'll probably run across Super Bunny Cave, and then that'll likely take him to the Eastern Palace area. So once he clears that out, we should be about even on checks, although Humbugh will have done those East Death Mountain checks that dataplet is yet to find, because he has not gone through the connector just beside Link's house there. Dataplet finding his Aga 1 locked well. So I will point out that they have boots, lamp, and a sword. So they are just the keys themselves, and finding Castle Tower away from being able to collect those well chests. So with Kakariko cleared out, I would expect to see Humbugh actually go into Paradox Cave, collect his sword and those big keys, and then I would imagine we will see the Paradox Cave connectors. Having the mirror here is also very convenient, because you can go out the bottom Paradox Cave entrance, and provided it doesn't take you to the Dark World or a glove-locked entrance, you can actually get back in using the mirror to do the block delete. And unsurprisingly, we're seeing, I think, dataplet head to Super Bunny Cave to grab his 2 items and get spat out at the Flute 5 location. So yeah, Humbugh grabbing his Pod Big Key, his Thieves Big Key. So yeah, I would expect him to take the middle exit first through this bomb jump. There are a lot of good places this could take him, primarily West Death Mountain being the most convenient, and so that will take him to the Dark World. So that's a good connector to make note of for later, once you get your Moon Pearl. It's a very convenient way to get to the Village of Outcasts, and the other Paradox Cave connector takes you to the dam. Not a very convenient connector to use in the future, but actually in this case, it is taking him to one of the few places where he has some entrances that he can check. So finding the other Spec Rock entrance in here. So we already knew that this was just a piece of heart, but I believe we will see him follow this connector now, which I don't think we've seen so far, as we got dataplet finding his East Death Mountain access, and he will clear out his entrance here, finding a whole lot of nothing besides that TR main. And although this connector will give Humbugh, there's another TR entrance. We found 3 of the 4, and using this bomb jump, he can grab a couple chests in TR if he wants. He also has the big key, so I think he can grab 4 chests, because we've already done Laser Bridge. I guess we don't have the cane anyway. And then he can either go through the connector or check the mislocked West Death Mountain entrance in the Light World. So yeah, Humbug making his way back. It'll be interesting to see if he checks the lava chest. His equipment isn't great to kill the Pokey and get this key. Doing it with whether he has 6 hearts and fighter sword is a bit of a pain, but unfortunately he hasn't found a TR small yet. So it's really not a whole lot he can do besides kill the Pokey. He seems to be doing a pretty good job. He gets some one-hit KO. As soon as I said that, that is a bit of an unfortunate death. It'll be interesting to see what he decides to do here, because that is very far out of logic to get that chest. Not only does he not have a way to logically access that area, the chest behind that Poke key that he was going to grab is also locked by 4 TR keys. So it looks like dataplet going to check these Eastern Light World checks that we've seen Humbug check already. Humbug making his way, so he's going to get his Agina's Cave in the Bonk Rocks here, which I believe was nothing. Looks like dataplet going to go through this connector that will take him right where he just was, but he will get that TR East entrance, and he does have the big key as well, so he'll get that chest. And we'll see if he has better luck trying to get to the lava chest and Chomp's chest that Humbug kind of gave up on. So Humbug finally making his way to the castle. So there's not a whole lot that we have left. There's a couple of entrances that these runners have access to that they have not checked yet. I believe neither has gone through the Old Man Cave connector that was at the race game. And with that one Paradox Cave connector, there is some bunny walking we can do in the Village of Outcasts. And Humbug being spat out right next to this Old Man connector, so it'll be interesting to see if he decides to go through that. No, it looks like he's maybe heading back to the Paradox Cave connectors? He's going through this dark connector instead. Okay, that makes sense too. I don't think we've seen the other side of this either. Looks like dataplet just going to go for Chomp's chest here. I think that's a very reasonable decision. It's a lot easier to have this chest in logic than it is the lava chest. So I'm kind of conveniently getting spit out in one of the places where he has Light World entrances that he has not checked yet. Ooh, finding a Cane of Samaria. So that does put these Totorock chests in logic, as well as the connectors to TR Main and TR West, which dataplet is going to go through, but it looks like he's going to take a crack at lava chest first. So I'm very curious to see what Humbug is going to do. He's going to clean up this Bonk Rocks. Dataplet. This is a very challenging thing to do, what dataplet's trying to do right here. We already saw Humbug fail this, but not only can you not touch the Pokey, is that those Pokey bits are always bouncing around. You got the skull heads, you got the laser. But dataplet can take one hit. Nicely done. Nice light world kern jump there on Humbugh's side. That was a very clever piece of routing to get to the Witch's Hut, which is, again, one of the few light world entrances we have not seen yet. And it is a 2-item cave here with the mire shed. And again, not a whole lot here. So we are quickly running out of things to do in logic. Looks like Humbugh is going to get his 2 entrances in Agina's cave and the ferry that is close to Agina's cave. Dataplet going to find his spec rock entrance over here, and he already knows where this goes. So I would expect to see him continue on to the Hylia entrances. Ooh, finding Hookshot Cave. So that is another connector, and 1 to 4 items depending on whether or not Humbugh can hover. Which I know Dataplet cannot hover, but I don't know if Humbugh can or not. I wouldn't be surprised if he could. Okay, just a shop over here at Agina's cave. And Humbugh, unsurprisingly, going to go back into Hookshot Cave, grab his connector and item. So now we're really starting to converge. These runners have done almost exactly the same things. But killing the jelly. Let's see what we got here. Ooh, that is some nice progression. So that's a pretty convenient glove, considering that he is right next to a glove-locked entrance. And a somewhat inconvenient connector that just takes you to the Desert Palette East, but he's still right here, so he can grab this glove-locked entrance here, and if this is nothing, he can run all the way back to the Hylia checks if he wants to grab the glove-locked entrance that he orphaned when he found that connector over there. That glove also puts Zora into logic, but he doesn't have enough money, so I would not expect to see him make that play at this point. So the glove does a little bit for us. It gives you 1 more light world entrance after we check this one. Let's see what we got here. Oh, there's your TR West. So we have now found all 4 Turtle Rock entrances. Humbugh going to take a second crack at the lava chest and chomp chest here. Now he has, I guess he's not going to take a second crack at the lava chest, but he is going to grab the chomp chest, and with the cane he can get the compass chest as well as check the TR main exit. So this is kind of convenient. So Dataplet also going to Back of Escape, which we also got put in the logic with this glove. No sewers key yet, so Humbugh getting chomped. He's having a little bit of trouble here in Turtle Rock today. But I was going to say no sewers key, so Dataplet cannot go to Dark Cross. I'm curious to see what Humbugh's going to do. Like, those items are very ones of few that he has in logic, so unsurprisingly seeing him go to Back of Escape, but he doesn't have a whole lot left other than this glove locked entrance that Dataplet's about to check, and going back through TR, and I mean the GT climb, which is a kind of ridiculous play still. So nothing at the Death Mountain climb cave here. dataplet farming some rupees, so this tells me he's going to make the play to these East Lake Hylia checks and then go to Zora is what he's going to do next. So it's interesting that he's planning to go to Zora, but he's going to find that TR West entrance over there. And it's going to be very tempting for him to go through to TR Main, because that is a guaranteed chest, as well as another exit. So we're going to see Humbugh sequence break the right side of GT here. So this is not in logic, but with the bow, his Ice Armless fight is going to be a little easier, and so this will get him 9 checks if you include Tile Room here, which actually is in logic. So this play does make sense. Yeah, so maybe he won't continue to the right side, but considering he came all the way back here and is doing Tile Room, and he opened the door, I'm assuming that is what we're going to see. Nice Splash Delete Fake Flipper by dataplet, showing some good game knowledge to use that portal when you don't have the flute to get over there easily. So dataplet finding the other end of that connector, which he knows where the other side of that is in Kakariko, and finding his TR West, and I don't think there was much in the other cave. How about getting beat up again by this Gibdo? He doesn't have the best amount of health to get through this, so he's only got 1 shot at the bomb jump. dataplet finds his cane right. I forgot that that's where the cane was. So now dataplet's got to decide, do I go through TR or do I continue with my plan to fake flipper to the Zora area? And it looks like he's opting to continue to Zora as opposed to getting the 1 more item in TR and the TR main exit, which he knows where TR main is, actually. That is on the west side of Death Mountain. So I guess it's a much lower priority when you don't have an extra connector. So with no Moon Pearl, he still could have seen what the waterfall entrance was. He couldn't do anything with it, but you can always go back there pretty quickly. So Humbugh's setting up this bomb jump. Looks like he's in pretty good shape here. He's got to be careful to not get hit by this. Well, it doesn't work when you have 2 hearts, because you need to fall down into that pit. So a bit of a lapse of judgment there on Humbugh's part. So we see dataplet getting his nothing from Zora. I'm gonna go for the climb. I mean, like, this is one of the very few things Humbugh has in logic. There's nothing behind GT, I don't believe. So he's only orphaning 1 chest here, assuming he's not going to hover after killing Moldorm 2. Really, we're down to these chests on the GT climb, bunny walking from that Paradox Cave connector to Village of Outcasts, and I think, and this 1 chest in TR. So dataplet finding that other connector to the TR bridge, which conveniently takes him pretty close to this chest that he orphaned by not going through TR. Finding a mushroom. We haven't found the potion shop yet, I don't believe, so that really doesn't do anything for us. I believe we found the baz, so you can fake powder if you want, but obviously that is not in logic. So Humbugh not going to have the easiest GT climb here. I'm going to be interested to see how he handles this Lambo 2 fight. This is going going to be basically an NMG land mode too, except there's going to be a shooter firing bullets at you, which makes the fight considerably more difficult when you're doing it with a bow. So now dataplet going to clean up these entrances here that Humbugh has checked. Humbugh getting beamed by these lasers. Nice shot on the Stalfos there. Fighter Sword just makes this gauntlet so much more challenging. Alright, here we go. Let's see how this Landmo 2 fight goes. I don't know if Humbugh is an NMG runner. I don't think so. I've never seen him. Ooh, going for sword spins. That is not really what you want to do against Landmo, considering your fighter sword spins do not do any more damage than your fighter sword slashes. Yeah, only 2 hearts left, and having a bit of a Landmo party here. I mean, not to take anything away from him, this is an extremely challenging thing to do, so this is going kind of about how you'd expect to go. So down to 1 heart. Dying here would be really bad. He's got to be careful because these kind of wayward rocks that fire out, plus the shooter, can both kill him. Nice, he's got 2 of them down. Don't know how many more slashes he's got to do on this last one. Looks like dataplet's heading to GT as well. So he's going to tile room first. We'll see what decisions he makes regarding right side and the climb. Alright, nice job. Humbugh survives, so he'll be able to get 1 more heart in this next room. And he's got both the cane and the lamp, so he'll be able to do the strategies that he's used to for the remainder of the dungeon. He's got to be careful. The Wizrogues will kill him. The lasers will kill him. Pretty much everything that's left will kill him. So, but he's kind of through the hard part now. This room can be bad if you don't know how to do it correctly. These guys can potentially knock you off, and if he hits you and knocks you off, he will kill you. So dataplet getting his nothing, just opting to leave, not going for the climb or the right side sequence break. So again, another different decision than Humbugh. It looks like dataplet is heading to the Paradox Cave connectors now. I don't believe he's checked these yet. So when he goes through this one here to the Dark World, I would expect him to do as much bunny walking as he can because he's really down to it, I think. He only has this and the GT climb left. He might have 1 or 2 connectors that Humbugh's checked. So these are the 2 chests that are in logic in GT right now. I wouldn't be surprised to see like a hammer or moon pearl in here. Nope. So that is not the answer. Ooh, another bow. So that doesn't really help Humbugh. He's got dataplet opting to do his bunny walking. So Humbugh, I don't think has anything left besides that 1 chest in TR and 2 chests in TR and what dataplet is doing right now. So he's having a bit of a think here. Dataplet finds Misery Mire. So this Misery Mire is in logic. So they don't have the big key. So 4 checks in logic here, as well as 2 out of logic checks. I would be shocked if this is not our answer. Ooh, dataplet getting hit by the Wizrobe there. Those guys do 4 hearts damage with green mail. I will say that this seed is awful so far. This kind of sequence that they're going to have to go through, what it looks like to get to just Misery Mire, is pretty terrible. So I would expect to see like a flute or a moon pearl here. Unfortunately, dataplet down to 1 heart, and he has no way to get the spike chest without taking damage. So if he is not able to find a health refill, he may have to come back in. He does have the ability to fake powder. Ooh, convenient hurt. No, never lucky. Humbugh finding Thieves Town. He does have the big key. Gonna do a revival here. So obviously what Humbugh is doing is out of logic. Also, these 2 chests that dataplet is about to collect are also out of logic, but there are still 3 more chests in Misery Mire that are in logic. Yeah, dataplet is not even going to bother to go on the right side yet. I think that's fair so far. Just 10 arrows. So now dataplet making his way to these 2 right side chests. Humbugh getting his 10 arrows out of the Thieves' big key chest. Looks like he's going to make his way to the back. He will orphan 1 item in here because he has neither the hammer or the Thieves' small. I guess both could be in this dungeon, but I don't think that is very likely. Dataplet keeps finding pieces of heart, but not getting that refill, which for him would be super convenient at this point. So again, another challenging low percent dark world dungeon that Humbugh is attempting to traverse here. Alright, so dataplet gonna wait for his cutscene to get another out of logic chest. He really wants a health refill because he really wants to get that spike chest because it is very likely at this point to have what he needs. Maybe he'll get another piece of heart out of the vanilla big key chest here. Nope, just 20 bucks. So Humbugh going to make his way to the basement and complete the dungeon. So you got dataplet gonna have to go the long way to get to the map chest. He's got to be careful. He doesn't know where that fire bar is. There we go. He found it and made the right decision on which lane to go through. All right, I guess the spike chest is technically not in logic either because he does not have a invincibility item. So dataplet just gonna leave that behind. So somehow also nothing in Misery Mire, which is pretty shocking to me. So dataplet gonna continue his bunny walking shenanigans here. I guess at this point we are likely to find a connector that's going to take us like to West Death Mountain or something. Hard to know what the game wants you to do at times. Alright, Humbugh doing his blind fight, 4 hearts, green mail. Little hairy if he gets off script, but Humbugh knows what he's doing. I don't expect him to have any trouble here. He takes 1 hit, but had more than enough health to handle that, so no big deal there. So you got dataplet bunny walking into the Swamp Palace entrance. That is a whole lot of nothing. So he's got 1 more entrance he can check over here. So it looks like Humbugh is going to kind of follow suit with doing some of these bunny walk checks. But from what we've seen from dataplet, it looks like our solution could be in North Dark World, unless this is a connector that dataplet's. Nope, just the old curiosity shop. So I don't know if dataplet has anything left other than to just go right back through that Paradox Cave connector and go to North Dark World. Is Humbug about to find Misery Mire? Provided he doesn't take much damage, he will be able to grab the spike chest, which could potentially be our answer if there's an invincibility item somewhere. Yeah, Humbug playing it safe here in Mire 2. So dataplet going north, he'll find Thieves Town over here in the chess game entrance. See if he decides to go to the back like Humbug did, or if he decides to bail. He knows that this is not his answer. He knows his Moon Pearl's not in here, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him bail, but you never know. You're here. You can finish a... I don't know if he knows whether or not it's a crystal dungeon, but he can finish a crystal dungeon. So it'll be interesting to see what decision he makes. So here's the spike chest from Humbug. It's not a nice item. It is not progressing, but can never complain about half magic when you're traversing the Dark World with green mail and 8 hearts. So we do see Humbug doing the left side of Mire sequence break here. Now, dataplet going to continue to grab his nothing out of Thieves Town, and we'll see if he takes a death warp. From this movement, it looks like he's not going to take a death warp, and he will finish the dungeon. So, oh no, I guess he took that one Zazak hit and just said, screw it, I'll come back later. All right. So on dataplet's side, after he checks this C-shaped house entrance, I expect him to go north to check the fortune teller, curiosity shop, all those entrances up there. I don't know what else he has left. So we got Humbug trying to make his way through Mire. Alright, what do we got here? So, Pyramid Fairy, again, not in logic, but dataplet can Super Bunny into here and get the 2 chests. I don't think he quite got the trick right there. He's got to hit up and use the mirror on the same frame as he goes into the door, which can be pretty tricky. You got Humbug finishing cleaning out Mire. Did he get it there? Nope. You can test whether or not you've got it by trying to swing your sword, because if you did get it, the bunny will swing his sword. If you didn't get it, the bunny doesn't swing his sword when he's not in Super Bunny state. That one looked good on dataplet's end. Nope. Didn't get that time either. All right, so Humbug, I would assume he's going to continue through this kind of South Dark World route to clean up these few entrances that dataplet has already checked. So as soon as dataplet gets this Super Bunny going, which he is struggling with a little bit, we will get some new information and very likely find our solution to this kind of ridiculous bottleneck that we have going in this seed. There we go, dataplet. Nice. Ooh, finds Titansmiths. Nice sequence break there. Titansmiths, not always required in Crosskeys, but a good item to have. So I guess dataplet going to venture into Skull Woods first. So this stuff is not going to be in logic. But he does have access to 5 items in here, although one of them is guaranteed to be a Skullwood small key. Nice use of the Wallmaster to get Super Bunny. With the cane, this vanilla big key chest in Skull Woods is much easier to get. Well, dataplet having a little bit of trouble getting into position to throw that block on the switch there, but was able to clean it up. Just a single arrow. Looks like we're going to see Humbugh go grab his 2 chests in TR that he still has in Logic. For him, this is almost definitely the best play that he has left. We know that this is not going to do anything for him, but certainly based on his information, this makes perfect sense. I guess dataplet just going to grab that 1 chest in Skullwoods and then continue on his bunny walking adventure that he's got here. So he's got 3 more entrances he can check that are in Logic. That could be a connector that takes us where this game wants us to go. Gotta be careful about that enemy there. That will do a lot of damage. What do you got here? Another shop. A lot of shops in these Dark World entrances that we're bunnying into. Alright, so dataplet's got the Curiosity Shop as well as the kind of Dark World Sank Cave entrance. Alright, what we got here? Nothing. So Data's got 1 more. I will say neither of these guys have got to be feeling too good about what has transpired over this past 50 minutes. Although if dataplet finds the answer here, which there may be 1 connector that they haven't checked yet that they found in the light world, but this might be it. This might have to be what we're looking for. Oh, it's the other end of Bumper Cave, so it's not. So I think neither of them have gone through the Old Man Cave connector. I could be wrong. I'm watching 2 runners, but I believe that is the last thing that neither of them have done. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. Dataplet looks to be, I guess for those Titan Submits, he can check King's Tomb, but this is not in Logic. Those Titan Submits are locked by the Moon Pearl, which dataplet does not have. Finding somewhat convenient heart container in Cave 45 here. This Humbugh is sequence breaking the Hobo check, which I don't think dataplet did, so this is some new information on our side. Okay, so dataplet doing the GT climb. Humbugh has already done this. We know that this is not the answer. I'm going to try and look on their trackers here to see if either of them have that Old Man connector marked as they know the exit. It's tough to tell. I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Hopefully Humbugh will actually swim into the waterfall cave so we can try to determine what that is. It's just the exit to Spiral Cave. That's kind of a dangerous one to find when you're in that flipper stake. So that mini Moldorm makes his way over there. He will kill you. So Humbugh gonna check Zora. This is a game, one of the very few checks that he has, but we know that this is not the answer because dataplet has already done it. Dataplet gonna refill his health here on the climb. He's also going to have a extremely challenging Lammo 2 fight. He's got a bit more health than Humbugh has, or Humbugh had when he did it, but I mean, is not going to help him too much. Certainly not going to make the fight much faster. It will make it a little safer. And you see him slashing these enemies when, even in the normal like NMG strat, use the bow there to preserve his arrows. Alright, so now where is Humbugh going? It looks like he's going to TR main through this connector to the bridge. Again, this is something we have seen dataplet do that we know is not what he's looking for, but he's got 2 checks here because I believe he died in chomps. So that should help him out a little bit with making this check slightly more tempting. Oh no, maybe he didn't die in chomps. That might have been a death warp. So again, found the mushroom. I don't think we found the shop. But if Humbugh beelines that mushroom, maybe we did, and I have not noticed it. The dataplet going on his Lambo 2 adventure. Pretty much the same fight that Humbugh did, although dataplet taking some damage here. It's like Humbugh going to use that mushroom to fake powder at the bat here in the Lost Woods. At this point, I think these runners got to take what they can get. Pretty tough to drain your magic with a lamp on half magic, but he seems to be doing a pretty good job of it. Dataplet down to 1.5 hearts. Little error here. Let's see what this sequence broken magic bat gives us. A big key to swamp. So that is not a great find. It's convenient in that, dataplet takes the death right as he kills Landmo 2. I wonder what he's going to do now. Is he going to go for the climb again or bail? He's going to bail. So this is going to save him some time, actually, if he never goes back. Because all that Humbugh found up there was the second bow, and the amount of time Silver Arrows is going to save you in a run is much less than the amount of time it takes to climb Ganon's Tower, especially with this equipment. So you see Humbugh turning his mushroom. I guess if he's going to continue to bunny walk, turning the mushroom makes a lot of sense because you can find the potion shop as a bunny and it can be required if it has an item that you need. So some heads up thinking there by Humbugh. So dataplet gonna continue with sequence breaking, checking the Hylia Island. Again, not in logic, just a fairy found. So is Humbugh going to the old man connector? Am I right in that this is the one thing we have not done yet? At the very least, we are going to see it if dataplet hasn't done. I think this has to be our answer. See dataplet going for a bunny revival in Eastern Palace. So on Humbugh's side, this has got to spit out on Death Mountain or something, right? Like, okay, there we go. So that was the answer. I'm not going crazy. I'm kind of surprised that neither of them did this before some of the other things they've done, like especially climbing Ganon's Tower. But I mean, if you're in a place that is convenient, it does make sense to clear it out when you don't have that much left to do. So Humbugh finding the old man rescue. So this is all in logic. Our solution has to be up here. This is the last thing to do. And so dataplet gonna be able to get 4 items, 4 out of logic items out of Eastern Palace. Finding just a map to pod. on the old man there. Not a whole lot in Eastern Palace so far. Well, I see he has the sewers key. I don't know if he got that in logic or not, but if he did, then he could access the Dark Cross chest. So we find Sahasrahla here on Death Mountain, finding out that Ice Palace is our green pendant. As well, we get 3 items, we get a bug net, piece of heart, and heart container. So Humbugh's got a few more entrances he can check. It looks like he's going to check the Tower of Hera entrance, and he will check his remaining... Oh, I guess he's got this entrance as well. I never quite know how to order these West Death Mountain checks correctly. See him using the bomb to get speed up the ladder there. Unfortunately, I think he hit the A button and lost his spin speed state at the top of the ladder there. Yeah, I'm going to check these Dark World entrances on the way to check what I think is one remaining Light World entrance down there. Finding Hyrule Castle main. So that could also be our solution, because you can walk through that as a bunny if there is nothing else here in this entrance. Looks like dataplet having a bit of a think. Okay, so they have access to the Hyrule Castle in the Light World as well. So that means for Humbugh, at least, there are 2 in-logic checks. I don't know exactly where dataplet found the sewers key, but if he found that in logic, then technically 4 checks in here would be available. So dataplet taking another crack at the GT climb. Okay, our tracker telling me that the sewers key was out of logic, so it's looking like our solution is going to be either Dark Cross or whatever the Hyrule Castle East entrance is. I'm not sure if Humbugh checked the Tower of Hera entrance, so we might have that as well. So getting what is going to be very likely a hard last location is dataplet getting beat up in mimics a little bit, but he still can grab a health refill. Okay, so we got just a piece of heart. Not surprising that nothing was here, considering that check was out of logic, but Dark Cross is very much in logic, so maybe that has our Moon Pearl. We shall see. This dataplet here, going to have another extremely challenging GT climb for absolutely nothing, which is kind of the most unfortunate part of it. He hasn't even... I guess the silver hours are on the GT climb, which is something, but it is not certainly not what he is looking for. Ooh, taking a couple hits from that Zazak. Gonna just go ahead and refill again. Kind of makes sense. Alright, so just a boomerang in the sewers chest here. Looks like he's gonna go up to Tower of Hera entrance, I believe, before checking Hyrule Castle East. Which is fair enough. So I will say, although Humbugh is ahead, this connector being the answer to his issues almost certainly means he feels very behind. All right, is Tower of Hera entrance our answer? Very likely to be. Okay, so we got Palace of Darkness. With 2 keys, we got 5 checks in logic with 2 keys, I believe. Finding a Myers Mall. That doesn't really do anything for him. I would expect him to see him open the front door. He's got 2 keys. He is no hammer to complete the dungeon, so he can still get to the back. There it is, finally. All right, after an hour and 4 minutes, we finally have our Moon Pearl, and that Moon Pearl was available super early if you just gone through that. Like, they got the lamp super early, they found that connector super early, the mirror was in Sanctuary, so you could have had that Moon Pearl 40 minutes ago. So like I was saying, Humbugh is way ahead, but he is definitely feeling way behind. So dataplet getting through his Lamo 2 fight. So he's going to get his whole lot of nothing out of the GT climb as we got Humbugh make his way into the back of Palace of Darkness. So he's got 6 more chests, I believe, that he can open. Getting a nice Cane of Burna that puts his half magic into logic, which means absolutely nothing, but still interesting nonetheless. Nice dodge on the mini Helmasaur there. Oh, grabbing a bottle with a fairy in it. That's kind of nice to have. When you have the mirror, it means you can be a bit more reckless, although with 11 hearts now, there's not a whole lot to be afraid of. Alright, so Humbugh now can hammer jump and get 3 more items out of the Dark Maze, which are not in logic. They are locked behind 6 pod keys, and he has only found 2. Oh, he did not want to place that bomb down, so it's not too bad considering he was doing the hammer jump from the bottom. He can just walk out that door quickly and reset the super tile, which will give him another chance. Gotta go down 1 pixel. That looks good. So dataplet looks like he does not know what to do. He has 1 thing left, and it is the thing he needs to do, but trying to look at his tracker to see what he has marked in that entrance. He's got something marked on his tracker, it looks like. It's a little blurry, so I can't quite tell, but I think he might be able to piece that together. As we got Humbugh going back into Hyrule Castle, most likely to check the Hyrule Castle East exit. It looks like dataplet has remembered what he has left, maybe. Still haven't, nope, not going the right direction. He's gonna, I think, fake powder right now, maybe. Alright, so Hyrule Castle East, that is kind of convenient, taking you out of Ganon's Tower. With the mirror, he can dash over to East Dark Death Mountain. So he's got 2 entrances here, or 4 entrances here in the Dark World, and 1 in the Light World. So dataplet is now going in the right direction. Hopefully he has remembered. No, he's going back into the Dark World. So we got Humbugh here. Let's see what medallion is required for TR. Just Ether, which we do not have. We get a Dark World match. Ooh, our 3 pendants at Swamp, Ice, and Pod. So that's good knowledge. You can check the floating island. Oh, there's your powder. So you don't need to worry about that, considering, at least on Humbugh's side, he has already fake powder. Dataplet is right next to where he needs to go, but it looks like he has forgotten about that connector, because he's going back into Mire to check the spike chest, it looks like. That'll get him his half magic, but it won't help him out. Humbugh finding Big Key to Skull in Waterfall Fairy. And the upgrade fairy gonna opt to grab some bombs and save and quit as he has done everything else over here. So now I would expect him to go through the Paradox Cave connector and kind of continue his traversal through the Dark World. Now, obviously, with the Moon Pearl, making that much easier. All right, so dataplet grabbing the spike chest, saving and quitting, having a think here. I can't. I might pull up his stream just to see if I can see if he has that Hyrule Castle East, or not Hyrule Castle East, sorry, race game old man marked as a connector. All right, let's see. Yeah, he's got it marked. So I would expect him to be able to get back there. Looks like he's now going the right direction. Also got Humbugh finding the back of Skull Woods. He can sequence break this. It is not logical with the Fire Rod, but having that wall situated where it is, it makes that bomb jump significantly easier to be able to light that torch with the lamp. I was paying attention to the data plate. I'm guessing this was in the Thieves Town entrance, based on how quickly Humbugh got there, but we'll find out either way after he beats Mothula. There we go, data plate going to where he needs to go. Surprisingly not that far behind, considering how much of a last location this is. So with the Master Sword, Mothula, not too bad. He's also got that fairy in a bottle if things really start to go poorly. And the longer this Mothula fight goes, the more difficult it becomes, because you got more spikes flying everywhere. You got moths shooting stuff at you. Ooh, a nice clutch 1 heart kill there. So dataplet going right up to Pod. He will find his Moon Pearl here and be nicely back on track. All right, as we knew Skull Woods was a crystal, because we have our full pendant crystal knowledge at least. We don't know the 5-6 yet, but that is not super relevant at this point. So I don't think Humbugh ever did these North Dark World checks yet, so he'll get his Titan Summits here and make his way into Skull Woods. And to answer chat, yes, big keys can appear pretty much anywhere. And they, in some cases, they can actually lock themselves, but in most cases, you can just find them pretty much anywhere. So Humbugh finding his other entrance to Bumper Cave. That's not useful for him because he knows where Bumper Cave is. So we'll see him grab these last few entrances. He will be able to check the glove-locked entrance by Bumper Cave up here that dataplet was unable to check, as well as the graveyard ledge. Ooh, so another connector here. We have not seen the other side of the Brothers connector. There are some very convenient places it can take us. The Mire area, for example, just gives you back up to the top of Death Mountain. He knows that the powder's here. He's just grabbing that for a safety. It's a kind of convenient safety. He already did the fake powder to get the item that is locked by the powder. So this is just kind of to use it as an item. Unfortunately, he loses his mirror portal. That doesn't really matter considering he's now got the Titan's Mitts, and he can just dash back over to Kakariko and use the portal there. So now we're going to see dataplet retrace Humbugh's steps for a little while here. There's still not too much left in logic. It looks like dataplet opting not to hammer jump. That is fine. I don't think we got a whole lot in the dark maze. So dataplet conveniently going to be able to clear out these Death Mountain entrances in the Dark World and Light World at the same time. He's going to find all 3 of his Hyrule Castle entrances up here. He's going to head into Dark Cross and get what I believe was a boomerang. And so we did see dataplet grab this chest in Skullwoods, but he did not go into the main part of Skullwoods, and with the big key, Humbugh will be able to clear it out and have a fully cleared Skullwoods, but with the Fire Rod will not be able to check the Skullwoods back entrance. Unfortunately, it is a bad version of Skullwoods, which forces you to drop down to get the rest of the dungeon, which is probably why dataplet didn't do it. And looks like Humbugh is at least opting to delay those checks, which makes sense because he's got a few entrances up here. He might just grab these and then head back into the dungeon and finish that up. Ooh, Hype Cave. So this was our one remaining 5-item cave. So we got here, we got a small key to pod, small key to TR, single rupee. So not really a whole lot there. Pod keys are always nice to have. TR keys are not super necessary, but you do need one in the end to finish the dungeon, so finding it isn't too bad. Humbugh being able to gain a little bit of efficiency by checking the Light World version of this at the same time as the Dark World version. So Humbugh being able to go check this entrance that we know is nothing because dataplet already checked it. Now I would expect to see him go back into Skullwoods at this time. There's really not a whole lot else he can do. I guess he can check Dig Game, Stumpy, and the Dark World Link's House Bonk Rocks, but he can get back to the village pretty easily. He knows he doesn't need to grab that. I guess he's going to do it anyway. He doesn't really need this. He's already beaten Skullwoods. I guess it's convenient to let him get to the left side. Never mind. That makes perfect sense. Ooh, nice hammer. So that's kind of unsurprising to find an important piece of progression here. That's really kind of too bad for dataplet because he was here and he could have done this during his bunny walking expeditions. I don't know if it really would have helped him that much considering he had to get back to that connector anyway to get the Moon Pearl. But having that, it may disincentivize him from coming back there, which could end up being a problem considering he now has regular Dark World access. So unfortunately, Humbugh has to save and quit out of here because the exit will just take him to the side that's locked and has the Skullwoods back entrance. So now Humbugh heading south. I guess with the hammer, it's just going to go into the Dark World and check these bonk rocks as well as Stumpy and the digging game. Oh, I guess he can check this too because he wasn't able to bomb that as a bunny either. It's our chess game, which has another bottle with a fairy in it. So Humbugh is making some good progress. We're still quite a few items from Go mode, but he is still getting there. We need a Eastern Big, Desert Big, a Hook Shot, Flippers, Fire Rod, Ice Rod, and Mire Big. And potentially a flute, but we don't know about that for sure. There's also like potential of medallions, but those are not necessarily needed. So Humbugh heading to East Dark World, going to be able to check the pyramid item and the 3 upper Hyrule Castle entrances. I guess we also need a Swamp Small as well. Speaking of which, we are finding Swamp and we need to find the dam. So still a lot to be done, considering that we are already an hour and 20 minutes into this seed, finding Ice Palace. I guess we got just all the remaining dungeons up here on top of Hyrule Castle. Oh, there's a nice, convenient dam, although Humbugh does not have Flippers or the Swamp Small, so there's really nothing he can do in Swamp. And that is the first of our... the second for Humbugh of the Castle Tower keys. And so I'll remind you that the well is behind Agate Tower, but we have not actually found Agate Tower yet. So that is not an option yet. But I would expect when Humbugh finds Castle Tower that he will straight up beat it and make his way to the well. So we're going to see Humbugh head north, probably check the Dark World Witch's Hut and Catfish, and then maybe make his way back down to the pod area. He's got dataplet going through his Hyrule Castle connectors, finding all this stuff on East Dark World. Yeah, finding his big key to Skull. So that's where the Skull big key is. So that actually will give him a bit more of an incentive to get back to Skullwoods, which will eventually lead him to his hammer. He may still want to wait until he finds a Fire Rod, but that potentially is not an option in the seed. Okay, so not a whole lot of Catfish. Humbugh just gonna save and quit. And I will mention they did find a sword at the pyramid, so he is now up to Silver Arrows and Tempered Sword and Blue Mail, so he's definitely well equipped to handle any combat challenges that he will face in the rest of the seed. So both runners heading back to this Kakariko portal for the Dark World. So we're having another bit of synchronization here, although Humbugh has cleared out a fair bit more of the Dark World than dataplet. So we don't really want to see dataplet going south because he is right next to where his hammer is. But he's going to find the back of Skull Woods here. And so I would expect to maybe see him clear that out. Humbugh checking the hammer house, just finding a fairy fountain. I think he'll very likely head down to do Dig Game and Stumpy, which he had to leave orphaned because he was a bunny when he went by them last time. As well, he's got the hammer pegs, and he can do the smith and purple chests if he wants to, which are pretty convenient with the mirror and Titans. Oh, it looks like dataplet is going to go back to Skullwoods. Okay, this is good. This is going to... hopefully he goes back to Skullwoods. I'm assuming he's just going to check the Graveyard Ledge and the club-locked entrance over here before doing it. And Humbugh finds Castle Tower. So he has both Castle Tower keys. I will remind everybody that the well is locked behind Castle Tower. So I wouldn't be too surprised to see him just full clear this. Especially considering he probably feels behind. As I said before, both these runners, hard lasso locationing, a fairly free connector to the Dark World that gave you your Moon Pearl. So yeah, we are going to see Humbugh climbing Aga Tower, which makes perfect sense. It's kind of unfortunate that he found this right after he did the top of Hyrule Castle, but I will remind you that there was a Aga Tower key at the top of Hyrule Castle, so there's no way you could do that conveniently, so I guess he can't feel too bad. Plus, he can use this as an excuse to get over that pod area. So with Silver Arrows, he's obviously vastly over-equipped for the Aga Tower climb. Dataplet heading back to the Kakariko portal. So you're a Dataplet fan, you want him to go to Skullwoods. Based on that kind of hesitation there, I would not be surprised if his plan is to head into Skullwoods. There's not a ton that he has left. So I will say that this sequence is going to put Humbugh at the top of the pyramid, so that is going to kind of further orphan Big Game and Stumpy. Mind you, we don't know what is there, so I guess it's maybe not a big deal. You are about to see the hammer. The hammer's in Skullwoods. Dataplet just going to quickly check Powder here first, because he did not fake Powder earlier. And so now we got Humbugh heading to the Aga 1 fight. This may or may not be required. At this point, it is fairly likely to be required, considering what we have done and what these runners have left. But it's also kind of a convenient way to get him in that East Dark World area, which does still contain 4 entrances that he hasn't checked. Oh, Dataplet not opting to go into Skullwoods. Wow, this is... Why would he go there? I guess he's going to do the glove entrance first. Okay, that's fine. This is fine. So he will check this, and I don't think there's anything here, so there's nothing that's going to distract him from going right back there. Although maybe this Birdo will distract him for a little bit. Oh, you gotta be careful, Data. Use your sword. There we go. Okay, everything is fine. Okay, what we got here? Oh, right, this was Hype Cave, but there was not a whole lot in here, if I remember correctly. Yeah, just the pod and TR small, right? Yes, okay. We got Humbugh successfully taking down Aga 1. All right, Dataplet. This is kind of crucial for him. He's got to be careful here, because if he takes a death here, it might further delay his trip back into Skullwoods. He's going to play it safe, which is definitely the smart thing to do. And as I was saying before, Humbugh using this Aga kill as a way to kind of conveniently get to East Dark World. So Dataplet passing on Skullwoods again, it looks like. So he is going to find... I guess he's going to go do Stumpy and Dig Game first and maybe start making his way back north. I will point out that he will also find Aga Tower here, but he only has 1 key because he hasn't been to the top of Castle Tower yet, so he will not be able to complete it. Alright, so we got the C-shaped house in Dark Flute 5, containing nothing. We got a mail upgrade in Digging Game. So now Humbugh gonna make his way to the pod, vanilla pod entrance. There's the ether medallion for dataplet. I will remind you that that was the medallion required to open Turtle Rock, so now that entrance is available. And so dataplet gonna head back in here, probably start the Smith chain. I don't remember the Smith. The Smith was in the Eastern Palace area, so you may see him delay that. No, it looks like he's just gonna grab it. I guess that's a perfectly fine thing to do. I guess he's gonna take the Smith himself to the pod area. So this tells me he's probably going to do a splash delete to get to East Dark World with the Smith and kind of conveniently turn the Smith at the same time. As we saw from Humbugh, it didn't seem to be a whole lot over there in the pod area checks. Now, where is Humbugh going? He's checking the well. That makes perfect sense, right? He just killed Aga. So now we'll see whether or not the Aga Tower climb was required. I would guess it's pretty likely it was. We get a small key to GT, so that is not helpful. What else we got here? A map, which is also useless. It's a dungeon we have already completed. Fire Rod, that is very much required. Okay, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him head to GT now with that Fire Rod. That puts... well, nothing into logic yet based on their keys, but it is very convenient to get to the right side, and GT key logic is something you can ignore pretty easily, and plus with the boots and the hammer, he can sequence break the left side very easily. And so dataplet going to turn in the Smith. He did not opt to do this spatially, it looks like, but as a perfectly reasonable thing not to do. We've seen dataplet opt to not break sequence quite a bit, so it's kind of unsurprising that he's continuing with that pattern of not sequence breaking in this seed. I'd like to welcome in all of our raiders from ZeldaSpeedRuns 2. I believe that was from the Zelda Illis match. I hope that was a good one. All right, so we're going to see Humbugh. He'll probably grab this key and mirror out and do the right side with the boots. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. So, or sorry, the left side with the boots. So this left side, all of these items are hookshot locked, but you are already in GT, so you may as well do it anyway. And he's done literally everything else because he's already climbed, and unless he wants to do the Moldorm 2 chest, which I seriously doubt he does. So Humbugh opting for the bomb jump over the bonks. That's still perfectly fine. So dataplet now doing what he needs to do. He will, hopefully, after walking by it too many times, get his hammer out of Skullwoods, which is in this chest right here. Very nice. So Humbugh now continuing with his secret break on the left side of GT, as dataplet will be able to clear out everything here in Skullwoods. He will not be able to check the back entrance, but Humbugh did not have the fire out that time, so he was not able to check it either, so really not much of a difference there. So we got a pod key there locked behind 4 GT keys. So considering pod's a pendant, that does kind of give you some decent clues about the logic in that it may make going back to pendant pod for the chest that Humbugh has remaining, all of which are locked by 6 pod keys and now 4 GT keys, like a lot less tempting. So So Humbugh gonna have to do a bomb jump here. This one is pretty easy to get. So now dataplet with his hammer has a lot of options open to him. If you want to see a dataplet come back, you are going to want to see him make a play for the top of Hyrule Castle, which I believe is where he will end up after he checks the pod area. So this is good for dataplet. He is going where he needs to go, as we find bombos, $20, heart container, and 3 bombs. So not a whole lot in the randomizer room. So these remaining checks in GT are only locked by 3 small keys. I see dataplet has 2, so it's not too far out of logic at this point. And with the big key, Humbugh will obviously be able to check the big chest. It's just a hard container. There's not a whole lot here in GT. There are still 4 checks available. We have book, so that gives us both of the tablets as well as the Desert Palace entrance, so that is something. And that chest can be accessed from the Firelock side, so that is only out of logic through keys right now, not the hookshot. As we saw, there is the hookshot and the flute, so GT having the goods behind Ice Armos. So that's good. So that provides Humbugh with access to the mire area. We have found Hookshot Cave, and he did not hover it, so there are 3 checks remaining in Hookshot Cave. Now also with the Fire Rod and Bombos Medallion, he is able to clear Ice Palace if he wants to, which is a green pendant, so he may want to avoid that for a little bit. But there are still required entrances that we need to find. Neither runners have found Tower of Hera, so checking entrances is still pretty valuable for Humbugh. And Humbugh hasn't found Eastern Palace. I don't remember where Eastern Palace was, but I do remember that dataplet did find it. So here we go. dataplet again now making the play he needs to make, which is to get up to the top of Hyrule Castle, which has the dam, which will give him his second Egg Tower key and provide access to the Fire Rod, which will allow him to get his flute and hookshot out of Ganon's tower. Just a bottle there for Humbugh. Thank you to our tracker, Lady Laura Linda, for telling me that Eastern Palace is on Lake Hylia Island. Yeah, so with that Bombos Medallion, conveniently, Humbugh will be able to check this mire entrance. So dataplet going to find Ice Palace, Swan Palace, and the dam here at the top of Hyrule Castle. So 3 of the, well, at least 2 entrances he must find, and 1 that he potentially needs to find. Ooh, finding a Spiral Cave in the mire entrance. So if he doesn't find anything interesting in the mire area, I would expect him to go through that at the end here, finding the brewery with just a heart piece. So gain, at least logically, Humbugh is starting to get low on checks here. I believe that's our first Desert Palace entrance, an hour and 38 minutes into the seed, which is quite a rare thing to see. Especially considering we have found a lot of the connectors that are inaccessible. So I'm assuming one of those Desert Palace exits has to go to Bumper Cave. But the other one, I guess it could be Ice Palace or something. But we're kind of running low on exits that those Desert Palace connectors can lead to. So now I would expect Humbugh to choose Desert over Spiral Cave, but I am expecting wrong. I guess he can very conveniently get back here, and we do know where this exits at the waterfall, if I remember correctly. So it's not going to take him anywhere useful, especially considering he doesn't have flippers. But it will get him one item. Which is a really inconvenient. Well, it's kind of convenient considering that Humbugh has not done Stumpy yet. That shovel provides him a fairly convenient excuse to get back there. So dataplet's got his 2 Castle Tower keys. Hopefully he goes for the Smith Chain now, because Castle Tower is at Hammer Pegs, I think, or somewhere around there. So he will find it, and he will, like Humbugh, have all of the items to clear it, knowing that the well is behind it when he finds it. So I fully expect him to do that. Okay, so Humbugh finally going to Digging Game and Stumpy, and he will do the shovel. So this will net him his Ether Medallion, as well as whatever is at the shovel check. But at least for Humbugh, I mean, that Desert Palace has got to be looking real tempting to go back to right now. He's got the Desert Palace small key, so that will net him 4 items. I'm trying to think what else he could do. He's got 6 pod keys, although one of them is locked behind 4 GT keys. So that's not in logic yet. He does have this Smith Chain stuff. He's got 2 checks in TR now with that Fire Rod. And he has obviously the Smith, which he's doing currently. And once that is complete, he will be able to get to the purple chest. But if I were Humbugh, I would probably flew right back to that mire area after turning this Smith in. And yeah, unsurprisingly, seeing dataplet climb Agate Tower. So this will get him his Fire Rod, which will kind of give him the next breadcrumb in this fairly interesting logic chain that the seed is forcing these runners to go to. So Humbugh opting to go back to the village. Not entirely sure. Oh, his portal was here. That makes sense. Alison, no, dataplet does not have any advantages. Both runners hard last location a required connector to Death Mountain, and it took dataplet a little bit longer to get back to it than it did Humbugh, and from there the seed is being super linear, so dataplet's just kind of going back through the progression. Alright, so we're going to see Humbugh going to grab his purple chest, Stumpy, and the shovel. I would also expect him to see him do the Bombos tablet check at this time as well. He can do his very convenient glitch where you can leave the purple chest behind, which allows you to dash freely. There's our first Ice Palace small. So that is something. We do know where Ice Palace is, and we do have a way to get into Ice Palace, but I think Humbugh might have a couple of higher priority items specifically Desert Palace to do before Ice Palace, but it's got to be pretty close to the top of his list at this point. We got here small key. This is Swamp Small? Nope. Okay, so that is collectively our third GT Small. So now we got a quick Bombos tablet check, and then it'll be kind of interesting to see what Humbugh decides to do next, as we got another small key to GT. Okay, so now a lot of stuff for Humbugh is back in logic with 3 GT smalls, his hookshot and flute are now in logic, and Humbugh smartly remembering that he still has these 3 hookshot cave checks to take care of. A nice piece of routing there to get all of that done at one time with the Smith Chain, Shovel, Bombos Tablet, as well as Hookshot Cave, which doesn't really net him anything, but it's another good thing to get off your list. Alright, so I think it's Ice Palace or Desert Palace. I would choose Desert Palace, but we shall see. That looks like a Miss Flute to me. Yeah, okay. I think we're getting Desert Palace right now. So this will give Humbugh 4 items as well as 2 exits, one of which is almost certainly Bumper Cave top. Dataplet here, going into the Lumberjack, about to grab his Fire Rod, and I would really expect to see him immediately go back to GT, just like Humbugh did. It's very close by. I'll get a small key on the Desert Torch. Okay, there's the Hera Small. They haven't found Hera yet, so I mean, you never really want to do Hera Basement, but it is nice to be able to do it on your first trip to Hera if you are going to do it. So now Humbugh got 2 more checks here on the east side of Desert Palace, and then we will start seeing exits. Right, still not a whole lot here. We gotta find something soon. Still nothing in Desert Palace. But with Humbugh still looking for Tower of Hera, he is most certainly going to be going through these exits. I guess Dataplet gonna finish Skullwoods first, which is Fire Rod. That makes sense. He can still pretty easily mirror here and get to Ganon's Tower, and as I think we knew, this is going to lead to Bumper Cave top, which Light World only has our friend Hotel Mario. So that is not our answer to find Tower of Hera. Now we're going to DP Main. This has got to be like Dark Hylia somewhere, or Turtle Rock, or Skullwoods. Okay, that's kind of nice for him to kind of get out of the way. Saves you from having to go back here. I guess you can check the pedestal while you're here. So not a whole lot there. So I think Humbugh has got to go to Ice Palace now. Don't know if he has a whole lot. Oh, he's going to check the Out of Logic Lake Hylia entrance, which is Eastern Palace. So he's also going to get the Ice Palace entrance, which we haven't seen yet. We'll see if he opts to do this. Right, flippers are not required in this seed, so Oh, sorry, the Ice Palace entrance was the Eastern Palace, and the Hylia entrance was nothing. Okay. So dataplet has already done this. We know that there is nothing in Eastern Palace, and so dataplet going through Thieves Town, kind of one of the few things that could have brought dataplet back was being able to do this with the small key and finding something in the big chest, but him and Humbugh are going to be on the same page here, with both of them skipping the Thieves Town big chest. But dataplet getting some time back with Humbugh doing this Eastern Palace dip. So there's our sewers key that puts 2 checks which had nothing in them in logic in Hyrule Castle. We already knew that was there because dataplet found it. So all we have left is we need to find the Mire big key, the Eastern big key, and the Desert big key. We need to find the Ice Rod, and we need to find Tower of Hera. I think basically all of Humbugh's in-logic checks that are remaining are in Ice Palace. And dataplet is starting to catch up a little bit. He really needs to make that GT play. It makes sense that he's obviously clearing out these crystal dungeons before heading in there. But dataplet's going to run out of stuff to do very quickly and will be forced into finding that flute and hookshot in GT. So let's see what Humbugh does now. One of the kind of annoying things about going back to Ice Palace is that it is right next to Swamp Palace, so it would be a little bit kind of nice, considering they're both pendants. Like if you're going to do a pendant, being able to do both of them at the same time if you have to would be kind of nice, but that may not be an option given how this seed is laid out. So it looks like that he is going to Ice Palace. He's got the... It's kind of an interesting way to do it if that's what he is doing actually. So no, that doesn't make sense. So he's taking this connector, which leads us to TR Bridge. So he's going to the Turtle Rock main entrance to get the 2 Fire Rod checks here, which is the Spiral Cave Vanilla entrance. Okay, that's fine. This is a pretty quick 2 checks. So now, what is dataplet going to do? He is heading towards GT. He is right there. GT is at the Light World version of that shop. Oh, I guess he's going to check the Skullwood's back entrance, which will get him to the Mire area actually. So, okay, there's our flippers. So that puts 1 chest in Swamp in logic. So it's an extra thing to do if you want to go to Ice Palace, considering it's right next to Swamp Palace. And this is Spike Cave, right? The Light World version of Mimic Cave is Spike Cave, so it makes sense for him to complete this as well. Looks like dataplet's doing the same thing. So he will get his flippers. I wonder if that is going to lead him to make different decisions. Alright, so Humbugh has got to be out of good options at this point. Are you heading back into the Dark World? Don't really know what he has to do here. I guess he's going to go to Dark Shopping Mall at this point. So yeah, it makes sense. With so few entrances left, trying trying to find your Tower of Hera before diving pendant dungeons actually makes perfect sense. This is probably why Humbugh is a much better Crosskeys player than I am. And I don't think we have many good item cave entrances left. Like we found Mire Shed, both 2 chest fairies, all the 5 chest entrances, Paradox Cave. So it's really just, I think, Tower of Hera that is a valuable entrance left. And it almost has to be here. Yeah, okay, there it is. So no big key, so he is going to orphan 1 checked here. And is this our Swamp Small? It is. Okay, so going to Tower of Hera before doing... And so he looks like he's just going to leave. Which is kind of an interesting decision. I guess it makes sense to check these just 2 caves here in case you find the Hera big. Yeah, wall kicks. This seed was pretty garbage. Yeah, it's a super linear Crosskeys seed for sure. With multiple last locations on both runners' side. Alright, so Humbugh not finding a whole lot here. We expect him just to go back in and finish Tower of Hera. So like I said, he will orphan 1 check here, possibly 2 if he decides not to do the basement, but at this point I wouldn't be surprised to see him do the basement. Although if you are going to do the basement, you may want to do it first before going upstairs, because it's not like he's only 1 item from go mode. He is missing 4 items, I believe. So dataplet, dataplet continuing his kind of pattern here of not sequence breaking. I guess this is still a sequence break for him, but it's, I guess, less of one than sequence breaking the hook shot on the left side. Humbugh getting bullied a little bit by Moldorm there, but with the hookshot and a tempered sword, should be able to make quick work of Moldorm in round 2. And so dataplet is actually going to find the hookshot here in the basement of Ganon's tower. So he will obviously check the left side after this. Okay, so Humbugh completes Tower of Hera. It does not give him any of the pieces that he is missing apart from that crystal. So now he's got to be going to swamp/ice. I guess after he does the basement. Alright, so dataplet about to find his flute and hookshot. Now, I expect to see him immediately mirror and do the left side of GT. He doesn't have to worry about spending that key in the map chest because he has already climbed GT, and he's not climbing again to get the 1 or possibly 2 on dataplet's side chest that he did not collect on his climb early in the game. So Humbugh enjoying a kind of well-earned break here in the tile room. So the other thing dataplet will find here is his Bombos medallion, which I think to this point hasn't led to much. All right, what do you got in the basement here? Bakey, beat a Hera, punish him. No, okay, Desert Palace. So that is one of our required items. We do know where Desert Palace North is. That is in the Kakariko shop, so he may quickly swing over and get that out of the way first. So yeah, so his his round 2 with Lanmo 1 is going to go much better than his round 1 fighter sword with Lanmo 2 did about an hour and a half ago. So we got dataplet. Just gonna get these random room chests here, and he will be done in Ganon's tower. So if he kind of beelines the dark shopping mall area, this race is quite a bit closer than it looked to be not too long ago. Trying to make sure. I think the only items Humbugh has over dataplet are those ones you just found. There's the ice rod. So now I would expect to see him polish off Trinex. So again, a very breadcrumby seed. Like this is one of the most kind of linear crosskey seeds that I've seen. Although the way these guys played it made it a bit more linear than it could have been. So now if Humbugh doesn't keep getting breadcrumbs from bosses or dungeons here, he is going to have to make a decision on which of these pendant dungeons he's going to dip. He's already cleared out everything in Turtle Rock besides Trinex. So unless this is the Eastern or Meyer Big Key, I would expect to see him go to Swamp or Ice, although I feel like I've been saying he's going to go to Swamp or Ice for the past 20 minutes, and he keeps finding better things to do. Alright, dataplet opting for Ether Tablet. I don't think Humbugh has done this, so this is a piece of new information, which could be important if this is one of our required pieces of progression, and it is not. So is dataplet going back to pod? Okay. I wonder if it looks like he doesn't know that this is a pendant. So if there's required progression here, this pod is probably pretty far down on Humbugh's list of things to do right now. Watch me say this, and he immediately goes there. Alright, here's some more new information dataplet said. That is a big key to Ice Palace. That is unfortunate because that is very much not required unless one of our 2 remaining required big keys is in the Ice Palace big chest. So Humbugh here making the Swamp Palace play. So 10 checks here for them. I will point out that dataplet does have the Dark Maze to do, but Humbugh has done that. But Humbugh has not done Harmless Hallway or Helmasaur, so there's a couple more chances for required progression. There's that Thieves Small Key that would have been nice to have not too long ago. Alright, we'll see how Humbugh routes Swamp Palace. I mean, it is a pendant. You are missing 2 items. You could go to left side first, but I kind of doubt he will. I actually don't know what the correct thing to do in Humbugh's situation is. Yeah, Allison. I think dataplet for sure has to kill him. I don't think he knows it's a pendant. So if you are a dataplet fan, you're going to want to see a Eastern or Meyer Big Key drop from Helmasaur, I think. Dataplet doing what we've all done ever since quick swap has been implemented and mirroring out of dungeons when you mean to use the bow. Oh, there is one of our big keys. Okay, so there's the Eastern Palace big key. Humbugh having a think. That only gives him 2 items, but that may make you want to go to the back. Yeah, because now you're 1 item from go mode. And if your Meyer big key is back here, then you can skip the left side entirely. All right, we got here just a piece of heart, 20 bucks. So now Humbugh has this waterfall chest here, which is just 50 bucks. He is going to opt to go for the Argus fight, which makes perfect sense. So dataplet making his way to one of his kind of few remaining outs in this game. The Ice Pal's big chest could be another out for dataplet as well, because Ice Palace is right next to Swamp, and if Humbugh does not find his required big key here, it's going to be his next play. Humbugh just opting for the kind of traditional Argus strat. Nice silver arrow to finish him off. And we get a Quake Medallion. That is completely useless. It's just as useless as that blue pendant, considering we know there's nothing on the pedestal. Dataplet going for some spin speed Helma. It's a fine play. Not always necessary to do when you have Tempered Sword, but it does make this first phase a little faster. Okay, so Humbugh not doing ice, or not doing, yeah, it makes sense not to do ice. You always do Eastern first here because Egg is dead and you have the mirror, so you can just save and quit to the top of the pyramid. So nothing on Helmasaur. So now I kind of wonder what dataplet will do next. Looks like he's kind of having to think himself there a little bit. So Humbugh does have 2 remaining checks here in Eastern Palace, which could give him his go mode. Looks like dataplet is going to check the TR entrance. We know that this is Ether, so he can do it, and Humbugh has not done this. All right, good point, wall kicks. Data does not have the Harris Maul. I do not remember where that was. Was that was in Desert Palace, right? That was on the Desert Palace torch, I think, which Data has access to. I would imagine the Mire area, like he's still looking for Tower of Hera, so I bet he will find that before going to Dark Shopping Mall. Looks like Dataplet's making the Ice Palace play. Alright, so I believe this is Dataplet's last out. We need to see a Misery Mire big key in the Ice Palace big chest, I think, for Dataplet to have any realistic chance of winning this race. I'm trying to think if there's Allison, if there's anything else. Like, once he gets on the progression chain, Dataplet's going to find everything very quickly. But there's really nothing else I think that could save him. All right, so we got both runners here converging on Ice Palace. With that vanilla small key in Ice Palace, it's going to make routing this slightly more convenient. You don't have to hit the switch if you don't want to. So there's our gold sword. Yeah, the Meyer Big Key is almost certainly in here. There's really not much left. To answer chat, yeah, it potentially could. I haven't been tracking the single item caves that these guys have been getting, so I don't know what's left there. Is this it? No, because that's the red boomerang. So things are looking pretty good for Humbugh at this point. All right, so we got 2 more checks plus the green pendant in Ice Palace that could be our required big key. So Humbugh good to find his gold sword, kind of followed the same route progression through Ice Palace that dataplet did. Dataplet kind of correctly not hitting the switch, so he does have to go through this locked door here to use the cane on the switch to get to Cold Stare. But yeah, this has been a strange seed. Like, the fact that they both last location that fairly early connector that they could have gotten kind of made it maybe a bit lower linear than it actually is. But like, even Humbugh, who's ahead, he must be feeling terrible. Like, he's got to feel super behind at this point with the length of time it took him to find the Moon Pearl. All right, so we got Cold Stare down. And the green pen, so the Meyer Big Key is not here. So it could be at the hospital. So Allison, to your point that you made in chat, like, they did the GT climb as the second last thing besides that one connector. And on Humbugh's side, he took a few bad deaths in the beginning of the seed, so he might have been feeling behind already and did it. And dataplet straight up forgot about the connector. We know that because it took him some time to remember what to do. So I think dataplet thought it was his last location. I think Humbugh was trying to make up for his early mistakes. Now, where is Sahasrara? Sahasrara is on Death Mountain, so it's a pretty convenient flute away for Humbugh. And now, besides that, I'm trying to think of what... There are a few odds and ends that I think Humbugh has left. But it's pretty likely that this is the Meyer Big Key at Sahasrara. No, it's not. So where else could it be? Because... So Humbugh's going to pod now, I believe. Because he's got both Ether Tablet and pod up here. Trying to think of what else. Did Humbugh? Humbugh never went back for Left Side Swamp, right? Can't be Ped. We know what Ped is. I think Left Side Swamp might be all we have left. And Thieves Town big chest. Good point, chat. And speaking of which, Humbug is going to find his Thieves Town small key in here, in pod. So yeah, now the seed converges again on a kind of slow march to last location. Humbug expressing his frustration at getting that Ice Palace big. But luckily for him, well, unluckily if he chooses it over Thieves Town big, and Thieves Town big is the answer, but that does not contain the big key that he was looking for. And another unfortunate thing for dataplet here, I see that he has made his way to Dark Shopping Mall before checking the Mire area, so he is going to orphan his Desert Palace big, which leads to his Ice Rod in the Hera basement. So there's the Thieves Mall for Humbug, and he's finding all of the one-offs in pod. It's pretty terrible. So he's gonna kill Helma. So now dataplet just checking these entrances. He'll do Mimic Cave here. No, chat. Mire big key is the thing. And I think there are only 4 places left it could be. So I think we just gotta... I'm guessing after pod, he'll probably go back to left side swamp. Because he could do left side swamp and ice big. And it would be pretty reasonable to assume that your opponent did Ice Palace before checking the pod vanilla big key chest, given how deep some of the pod keys were. So Humbug gonna have a pretty easy Helma fight with the red mail, silver. I don't even use silver, so probably just slash him with his gold sword. So we got dataplet going into swamp. So dataplet is probably going to do left side first because he is many more items away from go mode than Humbug was when Humbug was in here. So we may get our answer very shortly. Alright, so what is Humbug's first play? So this could just be going to the Dark World. Oh, he has the Desert Palace big chest as well. That's another location that I didn't think of. It would feel kind of bad if it wasn't the Desert Palace big chest, but I mean, it would have been impossible to get the Desert Palace big chest your first trip in here, considering the Hera big was on the Desert Torch, which led to the Desert Palace big in the Hera basement. So I guess it's not too bad. It's just another TR key. So that save and quit is going to take him right to the top of the pyramid, so I'm guessing he'll do left side swamp now. Yeah, that is the play. We're going to get that information on dataplet's side first, so I guess we'll know momentarily if Humbug is about to be in go mode or not. Got dataplet just making his way. Yeah, this was a pretty terrible seed. The like it was kind of an interesting sequence, but it was like super breadcrumby and pretty difficult to not do a few last locations. As you can see, like these are two very good runners. These guys don't go above 2 hours and 20 minutes very much. And going above 2 hours and 20 minutes, we see a heart container and there it is. All right. Nope, hair big. Oh my god. What a ridiculous sequence, of course. So the other thing about Crosskeys is when you're in big key go mode, you will find every other big key before your required big key. That is the rule. So now I'm almost sure Humbugh after this will have 3 locations left, and that is the 3 big chests of I guess he has Helmasaur too. No, he killed Helmasaur. He will have the 3 big chests of Thieves, Ice, and Hera. All right, so I'm guessing he'll go to Ice now because it's right here. Yeah. So we know that Ice is not the answer. Yeah, so like I was saying before, like you don't see runners of this caliber go above 2 hours and 20 minutes very much. I would be surprised if a time over 2 hours and 20 minutes or 2.5 hours wins any other race in this top 16. But certain seeds make it pretty unavoidable, and this was certainly one of them. Alright, dataplet taking down Argus. Just 1 silver arrow. Alright, Humbugh. Gonna get another feels bad man moment right here as he pulls his red boomerang out of the Ice Pal's big chest. So I'm assuming you go to Hera Big. Although Hera's in a pretty terrible location. So Thieves Town is in the Village of Outcasts. I don't know what's faster to get to. Looks like he's choosing Hera. Like, it takes a little bit longer to get to Hera, but once you get to Hera, getting the big chest is much faster than Thieves. Plus the, I would say from Humbugh's perspective, it would be more likely that his opponent orphaned the Hera big chest than the Thieves big chest, maybe, because the Moon Pearl was in pod, and you could have had 3 keys going into pod, so you could have maybe done Harmless Hellway before going to Thieves Town. Humbugh bunny walked into Thieves Town and completed the dungeon, so he did those 2 things kind of out of order. So I think it makes more sense from like a kind of metagaming-ish perspective to go to Hera. Plus, it might just be straight up faster anyway. So we got dataplet heading into Eastern Palace. All right, game. Just we all want to go home here. Let's see this this Meyer Big Key in the Hera Big Chest. Hey, there we go. All right. What a horrible seed. And so Misery Meyer is at Cave 45. So he's just got a quick flute to 4 to finish up Meyer, and then where's Ganon? Ganon is at the useless fairy, so we're gonna get this seed over with pretty quickly. So yeah, this seed should still be sub 230, which, I mean, given what these guys were put through, is still fairly respectable, I would say. Meyer's a pretty quick run through here. Yeah, but like I said, humbugh can't be feeling great. He last location a lot of things. I think kind of the mentality of most runners is you never feel too great getting near the end of the seed. You're kind of watching that race time room, hoping you don't see the dot dun come in and snipe you as you're cleaning up your Gomo dungeon. Alright, now Data. Data still has all those Meyer area entrances. I mean, he's got to know at this point he has not found a Desert Palace entrance, so there are still items to be found. Although he's fluting to 1, I guess he's turning in his green pendant. So yeah, that's a perfectly reasonable thing to do. Yes, and I would expect to see Data make the play he needs to make, which is to go to the Meyer area. Oh, he could be going for the Thieves' big chest now. Maybe he's at the point of I need to make the home run play. Either that, or he could be checking the Skullwoods back, which is another Desert Palace entrance, which will also take him where he needs to go, which is, well, Desert Palace in the Meyer area. Alright, we got Humbugh. Pretty easy, Vitreous fight with Red Mail, 18 hearts, and Silver Arrows. Now, just a quick, probably save and quit to Sank, and then heading to, I guess I'll flute to 2. That's probably faster. Yeah, okay, makes sense. Then getting to Ganon, this way you keep your health full. Not that you need full health for this fight. It's actually kind of a pain to have sword beams against Ganon, but whatever, you have a gold sword. Dataplet gonna do a blind pull of the pet here. We know that this is a piece of heart, I believe. Alright, Humbugh. Gold sword, only gotta slash Ganon 6 times. Pretty solid Ganon fight by Humbugh. Mind you, it's pretty hard to screw up Ganon with the equipment that he has. Alright, just one more hit in phase 3. Alright, looks like a good spot for a double. Doesn't need Torch Glitch, can get it anyway if he wants to. And 2 more, and there we have it. This marathon of a seed is finally over, so get your GGs out for Humbugh, who is going to finish in first place with a time of, it's like 2 hours, 28 minutes, and 17 seconds. So congrats to Humbugh. I would expect to see dataplet forfeit immediately. I know I would if I were him. After this kind of gauntlet of a seed. Yeah, it looks like that is happening. So GG's to dataplet, like a super tough, awkward seed. And it looks like we are now joined by Humbugh. So GG's, Humbugh.
Jeez, thank you.
How surprised are you to win this race?
110% surprised that I was even in like half an hour within dataplet. Seriously.
So I will say that dataplet, I believe, completely forgot about the old man connector. I don't know if you forgot about it or just kept putting it off until the last location.
I also forgot about it. I completely forgot that it existed. I did everything else that I could, as you could see, and I didn't even do it very well. So yeah, I thought I was behind all seed long. I had the race room open the last half an hour, just expecting him to finish. It would have been an instant forfeit for me if it would have. But yeah.
Yeah, we got to see both of you do that fighter sword Lambo 2 fight, which neither one of them are very pretty, and not like it's possible to do it well with the equipment you had. But exactly. Yeah, it was just the same story on dataplet side. It just took him a little bit longer to get to that one connector, which led you to pod, to your moon pearl, to everything else. And the other thing for dataplet is that he went into Hera before going through the Mire area, so he didn't have.
He didn't have the small key. Yeah, I felt like that was my last saving grace. If dataplet did not have the small key going into Hera, that would have cost him a lot of time. So that was my hope, basically. If I was going to win this, I thought it would be because of that. But then I just eventually second to last located something in Hera Big Chest anyway. So it just felt so bad. Jeez.
Yeah. I will say though, it would have been pretty tough to get to Hera with the big key, given kind of both of your situations.
Yeah, but, for sure.
Yeah, it's just like on your side, I kind of kept saying it's like he feels behind, and like when it got to the end game, this seed really just kind of forced you. There was some stuff you could have done a bit differently, especially in the early game, if like somebody else playing the seed, that maybe could have made a bit of a difference. But once you got to the end game, when I know you were already feeling behind, the seed just forced you basically to hard last location, a few different items of progression, which always feels kind of terrible.
For sure. And like when you get the flippers, I got them kind of late, well, really late. So you're still looking for Hera, which is a crystal dungeon, and Swamp just opened up, basically. I'll go hunting for Hera, for sure. Like 10 out of 10, I'll go hunting for Hera. It's just that was the wrong choice in this one, because you were supposed to go to left side swamp for the Hera big key. It was so punishing if you made like the sensible choice.
Yeah, because you had that endless stuff, so you have to do. Because I kept wondering, like, when are you going to go to swamp and ice, right? Because at least ice was available like somewhat early, like around the mid game, but. Just that you find that line of progression, right? That with the Desert Big Key and Hera that gets you the Ice Rod, that makes you do T-Rock, then you go to Swamp, then you get the Eastern Big Key, so you're not going to do left side Swamp, because why would you in that scenario?
Exactly.
And the worst part was that the Eastern Big Key was in the Swamp Big, and I saw you were intending to go to left side Swamp if that Big Key was not in that big chest, weren't you?
For sure. Yeah, my reasoning was that since I had already killed Aga, and that was nice, by the way, that was a required Aga seed. It was so fast to get back to both ice and swamp that was the reason I delayed dipping either of them, and that was the reason that I did not do left side swamp like after killing Argus or whatever. because it was so fast to actually get back to Swamp with a save and quit point.
Yeah, exactly. But either way, you are now 1-0 in the round of 8. You've had a pretty good performance through this tournament so far. So, like, how are you feeling about your position in all this?
Excuse me. Geez, I don't know. This like the bracket, the whole bracket consists of these Crosskeys veterans. Winning one game is incredibly hard, especially if you play like this. But yeah, I mean I feel good, sort of. I've reached my goal of actually getting to brackets, and now it's just icing on the cake if I get further in.
Yeah, it's actually kind of remarkable with how well this kind of the Swiss stage narrowed down. Like, if you were to pick the 16 best runners in this tournament, it would be pretty much the 16 that made this bracket. So there's no real free ride for anybody. Nobody kind of that you would expect to be here took an extra loss that didn't let them in. So yeah, no matter kind of where you get to, you're going to be facing crushers from here on out.
Oh yeah, I mean I already am, honestly. I mean, dataplet and I have faced each other many a time. I'd venture to say that we are like even in wins. I could check ladder statistics or whatever, but I think we are really even in Crosskeys. So this was nervy for sure.
Yeah, seriously. dataplet, obviously, a great runner as well, as was your opponent in the first round.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Brev, right? Yeah.
It was Brev, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, with that, I got no more questions. Just thank you for the great race.
Yeah, thank you, Matt, for you've been solo calming, right?
Yeah, I kind of like
yeah.
So.
Okay, cool. Yeah, like thank you for doing that. That was really nice of you, and thank you all for hosting the restream and everything, and hosting the tourney. Honestly, it's been fun. It's been long. It's still going on, but it's still fun. I enjoy the mode a lot. So yeah.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, and good luck in the rest of your races.
Thank you.
And also GG's to dataplet.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be it for me. I don't know if Trez wants to jump in and sign us off or not, but
howdy. That's
thanks everybody for watching.
Hello, everybody. All right, so I want to thank our commentator, Matt7898, did a fantastic job commenting this by himself. Thank you to our trackers, Lady Laura Linda and Samimus, did a great job tracking. And thank you, of course, to our runners, Humbugh and dataplet. Hang on, let me pull up the ZSR schedule here real fast. Sorry, I'm juggling a couple different things. So coming up tonight, we have at 9 p.m. Eastern, we have the Minish Cap Randomizer tournament match between Pikapows and Goldfish. And tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern, we have a Link to the Past Randomizer Crosskeys Tournament match, Quarterfinals Game 2 between Zelda and Illis. And at 5 p.m. Eastern, we have Game 2 of dataplet versus humbugh. So a lot of Crosskeys action tomorrow. We also have at 3 p.m. Eastern an Ocarina of Time Randomizer Dungeon Door Requirement Tournament semifinals match between Sage versus Sora. So a lot of hype things on the schedule. Hope you find something you want to watch. I hope you all had a great time watching this, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye!